This was literally the first anime of the year that I went into without knowing anything about it. No one recommended me and no one had the intention of watching it. But I did, and I gotta say, I was neither wow or disappointed. Now here I ask the question, can playing it too safe hurt an anime? Hello, I'm Juuou, welcome to another edition of Newin Anime Review, and this episode, Juuou Mujin no Fafnir, also known as Unlimited Fafnir. Unlimited Fafnir is sort of a harem. It does involve the main male protagonist around a group of girls, but it doesn't technically mean all the girls want in on him. The story is based in a world where dragons, gigantic beings, terrorize the human race, but there are a bunch of individuals who fight against the dragon with powers of their own, known as Ds. Ds are people who gain the power to create dark matter, and using that they can create substances and create magic to fight dragons. A D can become a dragon if their designated dragon draws closer to them. However, the only people who have these powers are all girls, except our main protagonist, Mononobe. The series is broken into mini arcs, usually focusing on one of the female characters. The story is okay, but it doesn't wow me. However, it is well paced. When transitioning from another arc, it clearly ends the arc. However, one arc does drag on a bit. However, the overarching story between Yu and his sister Mitsuki does become interesting as the series progresses. I just wasn't wowed by anything. Our main protagonist is Yu Mononobe, the only male D in the world. Mononobe was sent to Mid-Gear Academy, which is a girls only academy. He was sent on a mission by NIF to prevent the girls at Mid-Gear Academy from becoming dragons. He's the kind of character that will go out of his way to help those around him. At the same time, he gets himself caught in situations where people kind of don't want him to be in, often perverted ones. His D power is interesting because he actually has to give up his memories in order to use his powers, which makes his backstory a little more interesting. However, his power is kind of overpowered as he is the most least experienced member in a dragon fighting, but it can usually defeat a dragon with one blow compared to the schoolgirls who've been trained to fight their whole life. Yu's main love interest goes to Iris Freya. Iris fulfills the role of ditzy, moe, fanservice, hopeless character archetype. She starts off as a character who cannot control her powers, but she has the more unique ability to create dark matter appear out of anywhere and explode them. Other than that, she relies a lot on Yu and she has an obvious crush on him. Another character that gets attention is Yu's sister, Mitsuki Mononobe. She has a dark past as she was forced to kill one of her friends when she was younger and has been burned by it ever since. She uses a bow and arrow as her power. She comes off as a very serious, strict, formal type. She takes her role professionally and talks in a really monotone way. Her love for her brother goes a long way as well, more than the usual sibling love. Another character that gets significant screen time is Tia Lightning, the lolly devil girl of the group. She is a transfer student to the academy and immediately claims Yu to be her husband, as she doesn't want to let go of him despite the age difference. Unlike the other girls, she wants to be a dragon and seems confused by the whole situation in general. There are 7 girls, but only those 3 that I just mentioned get attention. Apart from Lisa Highwalker, Asundere, and Furiel Crest, which the socially awkward one gets some attention to an extent. But other than that, the other characters are kind of boring. There's not much development on the other characters, and when they are sort of developed, it's very rushed. This doesn't help the fact that I don't find any of them really interesting or likable, and they are kind of annoying. Seriously, they've been trained to fight dragons their whole lives, and some new guy who barely has any experience of fighting dragons does a better job than they already do. Here's where the anime shines and kinda doesn't shine. The thing the animation does well is how clean it looks. It looks like a genuine, highly polished anime, but they do usually use a lot of basic animation, even though it's animated well. It's really repetitive, such as when a character is using their weapons, it's repeated over and over and over. It seems the animators were just lazy. Sometimes the lighting in this anime is either too bright or too dark. I get that it adds the special effects and the scenes, which is fine, but sometimes it's just glaringly bad to look at. Now the designs of the dragons are alright to look at when they're standing still, but the moment they move, it looks pretty ugly. It looks as though it was a huge giant mechanical robot and it moves so statically. Also, the dragons are 3D renderings, and you know how I feel about 3D renderings in anime. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't look good, and it doesn't help the fact that the dragons are not amazing designs. They're not epic to look at when you think of dragons. Some of the special effects do look lazy, but when up close, some of the weapons actually and the magic look good. But when from afar, it looks like paint. Is this an enjoyable anime? To a certain extent, yes. The story is interesting if you're following Juuou. It's interesting to learn more about him and learn what memory he loses. It's good to see how he helps other people around while being the only male D to make the decision between his friends or his work. But at the same time, it's also kind of annoying to watch because at the same time, it's either too bright or too dark, which can really hurt your eyes. It's disappointing because the opening and the endings gets you really pumped up for the next episode. But the anime is probably too average for its own good. With that in mind, I give Fafnir a 5.5 out of 10. It's not bad, but it isn't great. It's average. It doesn't wow me on any factors. It doesn't disgust me on any factors. It's just average. I think they played it too safe, to be honest. It's okay to look at sometimes with an okay story, but the characters, apart from Juuou, is pretty meh. Well, that's it for this edition of Newin Anime Review. If you want the written review, the link is down below in the description. Straight to my anime list. And as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. If you can't be bothered, go watch another video. And with that all said, if I could make dark matter, I would make a better looking dragon. Sayonara!